Adaptive Clothing webinar where we talk about the future of inclusive design. Adaptive clothing is specialized clothing that blends fashion and function to make getting dressed easier, pain-free, and convenient for differently abled people. Estimated to be valued as a global market of nearly $400 billion by the year 2026, there is a demand for functional yet fashion-forward clothing that's made for all. Brands need to spend time talking to medical professionals to move this forward. So this morning, we are very proud to kickstart this conversation, hosted by Uniqlo with the support of the Universiti Malaya Medical Centre and our friends from Dawn Adaptive. We explore what adaptive clothing means, what it entails, the considerations and technology that go into it, and we hear the first-hand sharing from a PWD and a caregiver on their quest for mobility, freedom, and expression through clothing. To all attendees, we will be taking questions after we hear from our speakers, so stay tuned, pay attention, and don't go anywhere. Now, I'd like to introduce our panel of speakers today. First up, we have Professor Dr. Julia Engkasan from the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine at the University of Malaya, where she specializes in spinal cord injury. Hi, Dr. Julia.
Hi, and good morning, everybody.
Next, we have Ms. Diane Fu, who heads the Sustainability Department at Uniqlo, Malaysia. Diane is in charge of diversity and inclusion initiatives such as Uniqlo's employment of people with disabilities and community events for children with special needs. Hi, Diane.
Hi, morning, everyone. Thank you for joining.
I'm also very pleased to introduce our special guests, Bernard and Usha, who are the two co-founders of Dawn Adaptive. Bernard was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy, an incurable muscle disease that causes muscle weakness and degeneration over time. This means Bernard struggles to dress himself. Usha, on the other hand, has a daughter with cerebral palsy, and it pains her to see her daughter battling to button her blouses daily. So hi, Bernard. Hi, Usha.
Hello, hi, good morning. It's nice to be here. Let's have a wonderful session.
Yes. So thank you everyone for being with us this morning. Let's begin with Dr. Julia, who will be speaking on clothing and dressing, medical perspective. Over to you, Dr. Julia.
All right, so good morning, everybody, again, and I have a pre-recorded presentation.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Associate Professor Dr. Julia Engkasan. I'm a rehabilitation physician, and I'm from Department of Rehabilitation Medicine, Universiti Malaya and Universiti Malaya Medical Centre. So I'm going to give this lecture titled Clothing and Dressing from the Medical Perspective. All right, so in my line of duty, I take care of a lot of people with different abilities, right from children to elderly. So a lot of my lecture is based on experience, based on me talking to the patient, based on some medical knowledge. So it is not something that is being taught as a syllabus in any medical school. So it is just sharing my experience on what am I concerned, what are the medical concern when it comes to clothing for people with different abilities. And I'm using a lot of picture from the internet, so it is something that you know, it belongs to you. It is all done for educational purposes, and it's non-intentional to show anybody in particular. Let me see. All right. When a person has some disability, the person, like for example in this picture, will be on the wheelchair, have some part of the body is weak, and some part of the body cannot be flexible as they want. You know, they are stuck, they are fixed in one position. And this one can affect clothing. I'm sure you have personal experience. You broke your leg, you know that it affects your clothing. And part of what we do in rehabilitation is to teach people how to dress, right? Teach people how to dress, and it includes the upper garment, lower garment, innerwear, socks, as well as shoe. Because part of what rehabilitation about is to help a person with disability to return back to the society. So clothing is very much part of us. Right? Everybody would want to wear clothes, and everybody have their own preference. So as much as we can, we try to help them in certain ways so that they're able to wear things that they like. But there are times that we do have a stumbling block as well. All right, just a simple illustration. So one of the things that I said just now is that we will teach people with disabilities, especially the acquired one, those who just had a stroke, for example, in this picture, how to wear a shirt, for example. So in stroke, normally you have weakness of one part of the body, right? So when you wear your dress or wear your shirt or wear pants, there is a certain way that how you should use it. So these are normally taught by our occupational therapists. So for example, you have a weakness on this one, weakness is on the right side, right? So you have to put, if you wear a shirt, you have to put the sleeve on the right side first, then you on the weakness and the weak part first, right? And then only you wear it on your normal side. So there is a way. So this one normally taught by our occupational therapists, and we taught for stroke, different type of disability, even children. And this is normally the problem that we have problem teaching, patients have problem doing, because buttoning, zipping, and hooks are very much part of clothes, yeah, clothing and the dress or pants. Yeah? But to do this, you need very good hand function, very fine hand function, because to get it through the hole, to hold the zip, the zip, I don't know what you call it, the zip thing, you need to have a good pinch. So a lot of people have problem with that, right? So I think this will be addressed mainly by my other speakers. So I'm going to look into really the medical perspective. All right. Can dressing cause harm? Yeah, so this is the reason why the ambulance is here. How can dressing cause harm? What are we worried about when we think of dressing for our patient, right? So definitely there is issue, otherwise I'll be talking now. So let's look at some of the medical issue. All right, one of the thing that I worry about upon dressing for my patient is actually falling down. Yeah, they can fall. Because normally how do we wear clothes? We stand, right? I mean, most of us will stand, right? So when you stand and when you want to put your trousers, you need to stand on one leg. So when you have some form of weaknesses, right, you can fall down. And this is dangerous because when you fall down, you have other type of injury. You can have head injury. So when we assess people on dressing, this is one of our concern, to make sure that whatever clothes they want to wear, it can be worn with safely. Yeah, it doesn't lead to any fall, right? Another thing that what we look into is that if a person, if during dressing a person have the chance of falling, how well can they react? Sometimes because of the weaknesses, because of maybe the cognition is not well, it's the reaction is not as fast, so they can't break the fall. Yeah? So dressing can cause fall, and I'm sure for us ourselves, we have experienced fall while dressing. And hang on. All right, what about this? All right, can you fall wearing this dress, let's say? Well, what I want to illustrate here is that when you are wearing your dress, I mean, usually you wear it from the top, right? So when you are from the top, when the dress is here, it covers your vision. And in some medical condition, the patient depends on the vision to know that their position sense, you know. So when the vision is being obstructed, they lose balance and they fall off. So normally with some brain pathology, you know, the vision is very important. So that is the second reason why you can have fall while dressing. All right. Sitting, dressing while sitting, is it truly safe? Well, it depends, right? It depends on the witnesses. It depends on what is the issue. If you see the man, right? The man who is in the green shirt, yeah. So without doing, and he's not doing anything, but he has to balance himself while sitting. That is without doing anything. So actually, when you wear your dress or shirt, there's a lot of going on. You need your vision, you need your condition, you need to maintain your balance. So if he is being asked to dress while sitting, yes, he can still fall, because he needs to maintain his balance. He needs to use his hand to maintain the balance. So if you are buttoning, you know, you can still fall down, right? So so they can still fall down. And for example, wearing shoe, look at this girl. The girl, of course, she is stable, but if you have any form of body instability or called truncal balance, truncal imbalance, when you put your leg like that, you will fall backwards. So it is dangerous. So fall and dressing is one of our concern. Right. Okay, energy. You think it can be taxing? Well, for us in our day-to-day normal clothes dressing, probably not very taxing. But if you have experience wearing some extraordinary clothes, you know that it can be taxing. So one of the things that we are worried about is that, you know, you have to use so much energy to wear clothes that you feel tired and you don't have enough energy for other activities. Right? I'm going to share with you a video on a person trying to dress himself, and for you to appreciate that it can be taxing.
His basketball shorts are by far.
All right, so I'm going to share you of a man who has witnesses, who is spinal cord injury, witnesses of the hands, you know, neck, half of the hand is functioning, but all the way down it is weak. So this is how this is from YouTube, so it's publicly available. So he's sharing with us how he wears pants. I'm going to just put it for 30 seconds.
And I got these bands, Country Boys Can't Survive, that they made, and it actually helps with day-to-day tasks, just like getting dressed. So after I get it over the heel, or get my foot in there, then I use these bands to give me a grip to move the shorts up. So then after I get that, I move it over here, like this. Then I take this side and I swap it over to the other side like this. And then I do the same thing with the other leg. And this. And same process. Put the foot through there and then use these grips to put the shorts on and then back over like this.
All right, so you know that it can be very taxing for certain people with certain type of disability to wear their clothes. So it is, I think it's important for us to facilitate so that they can spend less time, less energy wearing their clothes, and then they have more time and more energy for other activities. So it can be very taxing. Yeah, and yeah, that's really what I want to show. Okay, so helping them to be independent is very important. So and even though for the guy that I showed the video, even though it is difficult for him to wear his clothes, but the sense of independence, the sense of being able to wear clothes on his own is very important. So we try to maintain it. We try to help them do it, achieving that. All right, so there are times that patients are really not capable, not able to wear their clothes. Yeah, of course, we have to teach the caregiver on how to wear clothes. And for the same reason, it is important that they spend less time and spend less energy to wear clothing for the patient. So we need to teach them how to wear, right? So if we can design clothes that also help the caregiver, make it easier for them, less taxing for them to wear clothes on their loved one, it'll be very helpful. Okay, now ill-fitting clothes, right? So what's the medical perspective for ill-fitting clothes? Besides the fact that, well, sometimes it doesn't look nice, is there anything that we should worry about when the clothes are ill-fitting? All right, and just to let you know, maybe to share with you, sometimes it is not that they want to wear small clothes or ill-fitting clothes, but sometimes because of the body structure, right? Because of the disability, they have some deformity, the joints are fixed, right? And then the body maybe bent to one side. So when they wear normal clothing, certain part of the body, the clothes gets tight, it cannot fit well. So most of the time, this is what is happening because the clothes fits, designed to fit people who have the usual anatomy and structure, but with disability, they have deformity, joint deformities. Sometimes the legs are swollen, right? So it doesn't fit well. And right, so yeah, I think this one all of us experience it. When we wear tight clothes, we can't breathe, right? Because when we breathe, our chest needs to move out. So if the clothes ill-fitting, you can have difficulty breathing. And for those who have very, very small reserve, meaning that they already have problem in the lungs, problem in the muscle, breathing muscle. So if the clothes is very tight, they might not breathe enough air, and that one can lead to problem, even though you don't see it often, but theoretically it is possible that they can't breathe enough air, right? All right, another problem with tight clothing is actually it can cause wound. The reason is that this one everybody have experience, right? When your clothes are tight, the gutter or your brassiere, you will have marks, and you know that it is tight. You have marks, right? But for us, we have sensation, so we automatically actually adjust our body posture, our clothes, so that that the pressure is not always in one place, and if it is very high, we ourselves will know because we can sense it, we can feel it. But for those with no sensation, right, they don't know. They don't know until when they undress and they see that there are wounds. Yes, we have seen wound because of clothes, because of clothes and because they don't feel it. So this marking that you see here can end up to become wound, and wound healing can be a problem in them. So we are concerned about pressure caused by clothes. Huh? Yeah, another problem that cause wound is all this sophisticated, modern, fashionable clothing. you can see the pocket of this jean, right? See the pocket of the jean. So there are buttons. There are buttons, and then there are side pocket. So the clothes are not very, what I call it, smooth. You know, there will be, you have to sew the jeans, right? So there'll be area where it's a bit thicker. So when a person sit on it, and this person, for example, have problem mobility, so this person will sit for a long time, all right, have no sensation. Those accessory, the buttons, the pocket, the extra clothes to do the pocket, it can cause wound, right? Especially the buttons, it can cause wound. As well as the pocket by the side, because when a person sits in a wheelchair, if let's say the wheelchair and the body parts is like this, so it can cause pressure when there are things, accessory, I call it accessory, sorry, there are pockets or button or zip, so it can cause wound as well. So normally we try to tell our patient, try not to have any buttons anywhere in the jeans, because it can be a source of pressure. So it can cause wound. Next slide. All right, I just want to share with you something that I learned. I learned a lot from my patient, from talking with them, right? So I really appreciate having that first-hand contact with patient. So look at this lady who's wearing a prosthesis, or you call it a false leg, yeah? And why is she wearing her jeans, you know, crop on one side? Fashion? Maybe. It maybe the jeans does not fit, you know, the lower half does not fit the prosthesis, maybe. But for functionality, right? For functionality, let's say you wear a full length jean, right? If you want to take out your false leg, your prosthesis, you need to take out your jeans, everything, you know. So for example, you're wearing prosthesis, you want to take out prosthesis because you want to lie down, you have to take out your jeans, take out the prosthesis, and then wear your jeans back, right? So it is a hassle for them. So if they have things like this, I mean, it is already cropped, so they don't have to take out the jeans when they want to take out the prosthesis. So a patient of mine did something like this, but of course it's not all the way up, it's only halfway here. So that when he wants to take out his prosthesis, he zip off his pants, take out prosthesis and zip in, so that he doesn't have to take out the whole pants when he wants to take out the prosthesis. So I think these are the things that the problem that people have when they have some form of disability, right? So before I end the video, I would like to share with you a video recording. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Yeah.
Pakaian yang dimaksudkan ada 3. 1 baju, 2 seluar, 3 kasut atau selipar pakaian pada kaki. Pakaian pada baju ada beberapa jenis. Satu, kemeja bercollar. Kemeja bercollar ada masalah dengan butang di bahagian atas leher, di bahagian bawah leher. So susah nak butang disebabkan finger function tak susah nak grip, and boleh replace dengan velcro atau zip. Kalau baju kemeja fully button, lagi susah nak butang. And then kalau ke baju ada masalah nak pakai baju disebabkan trunk control tak ada, and then bila nak buka baju tu lagi susah kalau baju tu tak fleksibel, so akan menyebabkan balance badan mudah hilang dan boleh menyebabkan jatuh. And kedua, seluar kebanyakan seluar pakai button hook, butang hook pada pinggang, so menyebabkan susah nak susah nak tutup seluar. Dan kalau pakai zip yang susah nak grip, dia punya pemegang kecil. Kadang kita rasa tambah something untuk memudahkan untuk grip. So make sure kalau seluar pakai hook, and then pakai zip yang ada pemegang yang senang dipegang. Dan jenis seluar kebanyakan kalau seluar di pasaran, seluar jenis slim fit, seluar slim fit susah nak masuk dan tak sesuai. Regular fit yang paling sesuai, dan seluar slim fit ni ketat, boleh menyebabkan AD pada tempat-tempat yang ketat. Kasut, kebanyakan kasut adalah kasut yang bertali. So kasut yang bertali susah untuk ikat. And then kasut yang kebanyakan kasut dia ketat di dalam, dia punya ruang pada kaki itu sempit, so, menyebabkan kasut kaki susah masuk dalam kasut dan menyebabkan tekanan pada kaki bila pakai kasut. Kasut bolehnya kalau memudahkan adalah dengan lebih banyak gunakan velcro and atau zip yang mudah ditarik. Okay.
Alright, so thank you this person for his willingness to share his experience, his opinion with us. And alright, so that one will end my presentation. So I hope I give you a bit of insight to what the medical perspective on clothing is.
Thank you, Dr. Julia. That was very insightful. There were many things that you shared that honestly I never thought about as well. So at this juncture, let's do a little bit of pop quiz. So members of the audience, please look at the window on the right side of your screen, where we're going to be running polls. Yes, we want to hear from you. So first, are you ready? First, please tell us what you think. Do we need good body balance to wear trousers and pants? Yes or no? Can you see the button? Yes or no? What do you think? Please answer the poll question on the right side of your screen. Right side. Give it another minute. Let's see what people say. So, Prof, what do you think?
Do I think? we see what the answers for everybody, just in case anybody did not pay attention.
Body balance. I mean, that's hardly something you think about when you put on your pants, right? So, okay,
Because
let's close the poll.
Yeah, you always
Let's
take
see
for
what the
granted.
audience has said.
One say no. One say no.
Okay.
How is
Okay,
it?
then. Okay, most of them actually said yes. So at least we understand. Yeah. Okay. So at least most of them still got it right. So that was a warm-up question.
You do need balance, especially when you only need when you put your legs in, you need to balance on one feet. So a lot of patients fall because they think they can do it. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so members of the audience, that was a warm-up question. Next question. So a person who has weakness in the right hand is putting on a shirt. So he puts on the sleeve of the right hand first, followed by the left hand sleeve. Is that correct or wrong? So while we wait for the audience to answer this question, is there anything you would like to mention at this point, Dr. Julia, about, you know, the sequencing of putting on sleeves and all that?
Yeah, so different disability or different body impairment will need to learn how to wear the clothes differently. For example, if you see the guy just now, so the guy in the video has weaknesses of the upper limb as well as lower limb, and you can, you know, when I see this video, you know, he can actually fall off very easily if he loses balance. You can see that when he's trying to pull his pants, his body is wiggling. So we need to teach people on how the safe way how to wear clothes. So different disability will need to wear differently. And actually, we learn a lot from our patient, because patient normally, the person themselves normally try and error. They dare to try and error. You know, what if I wear this like this or wear like that? Which one is easier? But we normally, we follow the textbook. Yeah, so we learn more from the people themselves. Yeah.
Has there been instances where patients, because they're still new to this, right? So they put on clothes and they never thought about the sequencing yet, and they get tangled up in clothes and hurt themselves?
Well, it's more of like just to learn how to put that sleeve on your weaker hand can cause a lot of frustration. I mean, we wouldn't allow them to get themselves tangled in clothes if you are there, right? But just to let you know that simple step of putting in your weaker hand into that sleeve can cause a lot of frustration to the patient. And it's very important for us to give encouragement and just do a bit at any one time. It's not taught in one setting. Sometimes one setting just teach them how to put in and just pull it to the shoulder, because they will have balance issue and so on. Yeah? So the poll said correct. So a lot of people are unable to answer or do not or prefer not to answer.
So is it correct, Prof? So if I'm weak in the right hand, do I put on the sleeve of the right hand first before the left hand?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. But otherwise, I mean, your left hand can't do anything. I mean, you can't really put it on your good hand. So the good hand, it's the good hand that has to work. Yeah.
Right. So let's go to the next question, and this is a simple one. Does tight clothing cause wounds? Yes or no? Members of the audience, please vote. Yeah, on the right side of your screen, yeah, on the right side of the screen. Tight clothing. There are a lot of clothing out there in the market that actually fitted or very tight. So you're referring to those kind of clothing, Dr. Julia?
No, that's why I said not really. Sometimes it's because of the way. I mean, because of the structure of the body might not be like, because the swelling and the so on, right? So, for example, patient with some foot problem, they have to end up buying the bigger size unless they want to buy 2 sizes of shoe, because there's no one size that can fit both feet. So the same with the body parts, you know. What do you want to sacrifice? You want to buy a XXL so that nothing fits or no, there's no area of pressure, or you want to follow the one side of your body but the other side cannot fit in. So sometimes it's mainly due to that. I mean, for us also we
Right.
we don't purposely wear tight clothes, right? Okay.
That's true. Okay, let's see what the audience has said. So does tight clothing cause wounds? Yes. Most of our audience says yes. Yes.
Because they don't have sensation, so they just keep on wearing and sitting, not knowing that the pressure is so high that can compress the blood vessel and cell death. Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a final question for now, a quick one. Will you wear clothes with Velcro instead of buttons? Yes or no? Let's see. What do the members of the audience say? Would you wear clothes with Velcro or buttons? Actually, we're looking at Velcro instead of buttons as the alternative fastener, right? What about like loops or tying up strings together like shoelace and all that? Would that be also an option or alternative?
You asking who?
Asking you.
Okay. It's the lace is, if you have poor hand function, no, we don't advise that. We are more into Velcro. Let's say talking to hospital, we is more into Velcro. Of course, there are a lot of things. For example, there are this equipment for you to put in the button to the hole, but it's something that somebody has to buy. We try not to add more cost to them. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So let's see what the audience is saying. Will you wear clothes with Velcro instead of buttons? There we have a mix. Almost half say yes and almost half say no. So that's interesting. Maybe that's a fashion decision. I don't know. But okay, so we're all warmed up now. Let's go to the next speaker, Diane from Uniqlo, who will share on what Uniqlo has been doing for inclusivity and sustainability. Over to you, Diane.
Thank you so much, Lorella. And very interesting presentation, Dr. Julia. I also learned a lot. So hi again, everyone. I've also pre-recorded my presentation just to avoid any technical issues. Hi, everyone. I'm Diane from Uniqlo's sustainability team. So 10 years ago, we opened our first store in Fahrenheit 88. We are a Japanese clothing retailer. This year is actually our 10th anniversary in Malaysia. And currently we have 51 stores and also an online store. So we may not be an adaptive fashion brand, but we have actually always been adapting our fabrics and designs, changing clothes, and also changing conventional wisdom of what clothes can do for people, and using the power of clothing through our business to enrich society and change the world. So that is all part of our corporate statement on the right. And our mission is to develop truly great clothing with unique value that will meet our customers' needs and which are also made for all. Some of these innovations in our clothing have been useful for people with disabilities, rehabilitation patients, and also the elderly. So that is what I would like to share with you today. So LifeWear is the philosophy behind all of our clothing to ensure that our clothes continue to improve everyday life for everyone. This means simple yet innovative, high quality apparel with a practical sense of beauty and attention to detail. We create clothes that are meant to be worn for a long time. For example, classics that never look old, basic elegance and functional designs. And as our lifestyles change, so the role that clothing plays also has changed as well. Many of us are now spending more time at home. So we want clothes that feel good to wear, relaxing clothes that will also make you feel stylish. So we're always looking ahead and we try to continue to evolve and deliver clothes that can enhance our customers' lives. So let's look at some of our lifewear. Arism is actually one of our revolutionary collections. We may have heard of it. So it's a breathable fabric that keeps you cool and comfortable by absorbing sweat and moisture. Arism is offered in multiple variations, each designed for different needs and lifestyles. So we have innerwear, tops, jackets, pants, and it can also be layered below your clothes. It's made from ultra fine fibers. It's really silky, cool. The fabric is light and can quickly absorb and dry away sweat. It also has a self-deodorizing function and an odor control function. And just as life is evolving, so has Arism. We've updated it with new innovations. So now we also have Arism bra tops, which have a sewn-in bra for convenience. We have underwear, and this year we launched the Arism mask in response to customers' demands for reusable masks due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we had thousands of people actually writing in to ask if we could make masks, and that's what we did, and we launched it just a few months ago. We've also recently launched the Arism bedding as well. So this includes bed sheets and pillowcases. So we have, can you imagine a silky smooth and cooling feeling when you sleep? Another of our popular collections, Dry X, is an active wear that gives you better mobility and support. So it's also soft and breathable fabric that dries sweat quickly. It has an antimicrobial and is odor neutralizing. So even though it's more of an active wear, it can actually be worn for any casual outing as well. For example, my mother likes to wear it to go shopping because she gets hot and she sweats easily. So it's actually great for Malaysia's humid weather. And we also have a range of dry X that is made from recycled plastic bottles to create the polyester fabric. So this is part of our ongoing commitment to explore more sustainable materials in all our products. Our Easy Jeans range, so this is denim that feels as soft as sweatpants and it's really, really comfortable. For example, we have a staff in our office who uses a wheelchair, and he also said that Easy Jeans is very convenient for him because it's very easy to wear. It has an elastic waistband and drawstrings, so for more relaxed feel. So you don't really need a belt, and they come in many colors and have a lot of stretch. Our jeans are also sustainably made using Blue Cycle technology. So this reduces the water usage by up to 99% by using ozone gas in the finishing process instead of water. Another jeans range, a popular range that we have is Ultra Stretch. So this is really comfortable. It features a lightweight fabric that stretches in many directions and is able to retain its shape. So they don't feel constrictive and they provide more freedom of movement. This fabric also comes in many variations now, not just jeans, but also working pants, active wear for men, women, and also kids. And this is a new range that I'm very excited to share to you about. So this is our front open innerwear, which we recently just launched in Japan. It was created for those who have difficulty putting on and taking off their clothes. For example, those who can't really raise their arms, undergoing rehabilitative care, post breast cancer surgery, and also the elderly. So it was created with the input of people from medical institutions. It's easy to put on and take off as it has Velcro closures and other features that also make it comfortable to wear. And how this range was developed was actually based on the voices of our customers, such as those who contact our customer center. So in March 2019, a customer actually wrote into our customer center in Japan. This customer, she had a daughter with cerebral palsy who was highly medically dependent and barely able to move. So the daughter was unable to wear anything to put on over her head as she had a tracheostomy and she wore a respirator. So it was difficult to regulate her body temperature because it dropped very low during the winter, and in the summer she would be sweating heavily. So the mother said that it was easier for her to be dressed in stretchy fabrics because it was difficult for her to wear something that was narrow at the sleeves. So this customer, she used to rely on Uniqlo clothing like Arism and Heat Tech because of the stretchability, and also it was at a reasonable price. However, due to health changes by her daughter's growth and then a few surgeries and also accidents, so she had to start tailoring this clothing with front or shoulder openings. Unfortunately, her daughter eventually passed away at the age of 11, but the customer was writing in after her daughter had passed away already. just to share her comments and was inquiring if Uniqlo could actually make barrier-free clothing or adaptive clothing as we know it as. So after that, we also visited medical institutions and facilities. We listened to the voices of many people to develop this range. And in August this year, we announced that we will be launching it in September. So a few days later, the same customer wrote in to us again, and she was expressing her joy about hearing about this news and how happy she was that it could help her daughter's friends who were also like her. So many of our clothes are actually created and improved in this way, which is through our customers' voices. And that's why we really value every one of them, especially those who really took the trouble to write into our customer center. So in this front open innerwear range, the clothes do not have labels to reduce skin irritation. And apart from the Velcro closures, there's also some snap buttons, which only need moderate strength to open. And other than tops, we have front open bras, which have a pad holder on the inside of the bra, so it can store pads of various sizes and shapes. There's a new structure that allows you to put pads on the top and the bottom of the bra, so it's actually suitable for some who've had breast surgery. We also have stretchable socks with reduced tightening around the ankles, and front open baby clothing that's made with our Arism fabric. This range is not available in Malaysia just yet, but keep a lookout for our announcement, and we will reveal it shortly because I can't say yet when we will start to sell it. But what I can reveal, this is something exciting that we would like to announce. We're actually going to open our first ever roadside store in Malaysia in December, which is very, very soon. Will be accessible for people with disabilities. And this is the Uniqlo Damansara Avenue, DA Square at Damansara Avenue, which is located in Bandar Sri Damansara. So as our first standalone store, which we built from the ground, instead of our usual stores, which are located in shopping malls, we were able to include some facilities, such as universal fitting room that's wide enough for a wheelchair. We have wide main aisles. We also have a disabled toilet with emergency alarm that's linked to our cashier. We have 3 disabled parking lots, no steps at the entrance, and also automatic sliding doors. So we're really excited about this, as this will be our biggest store in Malaysia, and we're opening it in conjunction with our 10th anniversary this year. So Uniqlo is not just about selling clothes. We really aim to contribute to a sustainable society, and we really embrace the diversity and inclusion agenda. So we have engaged professional wheelchair tennis players, Gordon Reid and Shingo Kunida, as our global brand ambassadors, because we admired their resilience and also their character in overcoming challenges to become top athletes. We also employ people with disabilities. So currently in Malaysia, more than 2% of our workforce are PWDs. That's 30 people that we have right now working in our stores and also our office. Globally, we have more than 1,500 PWD employees, and our goal is actually to hire 1 in each store. We also provide retail training to external PWDs, many of them who are not employed yet. So we just want to give them a chance to experience working in the retail environment and to build up some skills and confidence. And we also organize other events for children with special needs, such as painting workshops, sports events, and previously we have sponsored the Special Olympics uniforms for the Malaysian team. So we definitely hope we can do more with the PWD community and continue to support the better futures for them. So I've come to the end of my short presentation, and I want to introduce another of our important philosophies behind our clothing, which is made for all, which means clothes for everyone. So Uniqlo's clothing is meant to be for all people, regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, and disability. We sell products that are rooted in people's day-to-day lives based on what we hear from customers. And we're constantly innovating and making improvements to ensure that our clothing is truly made for all. So we are listening. So you can always tell us about your clothing needs so that we can adapt the fashion industry to be more inclusive together. Thank you everyone for your time. That's it from me.
you, Diane. That was a very, very nice sharing. It's so nice to see international, a brand like Uniqlo, where you're in a position to actually reach out and all that, and you're doing so much, being consciously trying to be more inclusive, right? And I look forward to visiting your store. But at this juncture, let's run a quick poll again. Members of the audience, stop free time again. Please look at the window on the right side of your screen where we are running the poll. So tell us, what feature of executive clothing do you or your care receiver prefer the most? Less buttons and zips, magnetic buttons, stretchable, loose fitting, quick drying, open from the back or side, or adjustable? Please answer the poll question on the right side of your screen. While we are waiting for the poll results, right? Is there anything you'd like to share at this juncture, just to add on?
I just hope that I didn't give too many options right there to confuse people. But anyway, some of these features are already in some of our clothes. So for example, like the front open innerwear that I shared just now was our attempt to have products with less buttons. And also for the stretchable one, we have a very popular range of the easy jeans that we used to hear feedback from wheelchair customers saying that they take 1 hour to wear jeans. So we actually start to realize that the easy jeans is something that could be beneficial for them. And that's how we also start to work with some of the wheelchair ambassadors that we engage. And they've also given us some feedback that this is able to help them wear it in a much faster manner. Yeah, so we're always trying to see how else we can improve. We're also trying to make sure that ultimately what we come up with is something that everyone can wear. So we're not aiming to just make clothes for only a specific group of people, but it should be able for anyone to actually wear as well. Yeah, we don't want to make it seem like it's just for people who have done surgery or just for people with disabilities. So I think that's something like Dawn Adaptive, they also have this kind of belief that clothing should be also made for all, so not just for a specific group.
Yeah, I agree. The idea is that the clothing is a means to express, right? Not just be exclusionary. So let's see what our members of the audience have voted, Okay, let's see. We have actually quite quite well spread, quite easily. Okay, the top is that they would like to open from the back or side. Okay, and some would like to have magnetic buttons, loose fitting, and less buttons and zips. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. So while we think about that for a bit, let's come to our special guests, Bernard and Usha. So let's begin with Bernard. Can you share with us your experiences and challenges surrounding clothing on a daily life, on a daily basis?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hi, Dr. Nora. Thank you. Good morning. It's great to be here. So, just a little intro about myself. My name is Bernard. I'm the co-founder of Dawn Adaptive. So Dawn Adaptive is the first adaptive clothing brand in Malaysia. And besides that, I'm also the founder of Dawn Management, which is a modeling agency for models with disabilities. We bring out a fair representation in the fashion and media industry in Malaysia. And a little about myself. So I was born with this condition called spinal muscular atrophy type 3. So it's a neuromuscular disease condition which affects your muscle, and it gradually weakens over time. So growing up, my body is not like normal people. I have muscle weakness, so my hands and legs are not as strong as other people. So obviously, when I wear clothes, it's a little harder. And it's interesting that just now, Dr. Julia was showing the video of the boy wearing his clothes, right? Because it's something like that. I struggle like that. I'm grateful to have my parents and family to help me wear my clothes. So growing up, I noticed that this is a real challenge, and I wanted to be like a part of a solution, you know. So I always had this idea in mind to create an adaptive clothing, and that came when I met my business partner Usha. We actually, how we met was she enrolled her daughter into my modeling agency, Dawn mentioned. So she has a daughter with cerebral palsy, and then that's where we discussed. We were talking, and then she told me she also had the same idea in mind of creating adaptive clothing, and so we decided to work together. And yeah, I think the problem with I remember when I first noticed adaptive clothing, which was brands from overseas, was that it was expensive. I think that was a big problem because like I remember ordering a shirt, it was a long sleeve formal shirt, which had magnetic buttons, and it cost, I paid like 600. So with the shipping and taxes and all that. So yeah, it made like pants, socks and all that. But like no, we know. I mean, people with disabilities are usually not so well to do. I'm not calling them poor or anything, but usually they have other expenses like medical expenses, equipment. So you know that buying clothes is like a luxury. So adaptive clothing should be something which is an essential. So we shouldn't charge much on that. So that's our aim. We put it at an affordable price because we believe this is essential, and we want everyone to be able to have it. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, okay. So thank you for sharing. I think let's hear from Usha. Let's hear
Hi,
from Usha.
everyone.
Hi. As a parent and caregiver, what are your experiences and challenges when it comes to clothing?
Hi, everyone. This is Usha. I'm the founder of Dawn Adaptive. I have a special child. She's 16 years old. Her name is Anna. And this, having a child with cerebral palsy and being a caretaker is not an easy thing. It's like, if you're a parent, it's not an easy thing of dressing them up and all that. Getting up in the morning and dressing up because they are tight, and you have to be very careful on how you dress this child, because you might hurt them certain ways. So this is how I realized that to start Dawn Adaptive, I was talking to Bernard, and I realized that people with special needs need adaptive clothes that is easy to wear, that you put on, take off. Like my daughter, she has struggles in buttoning her own self by herself, and all putting her sleeves through. It's not easy for her. So this really impacts a lot of people with disability. I'm sure Bernard will agree with this. Right, Bernard? Yeah.
True, it really impacts us because we want to be able to dress independently while having fashionable options. I think people overlook that. They think that just because we are in a wheelchair, we wear boring clothes. No, we want to look good too. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the other way is we look at the psychological part of it. It actually, it gives a psychological boost in each individual. If you can dress up, imagine someone who had an accident or something like that, and they lose their mobility, and then they are depending on someone else to dress them up. Their self-esteem and their confidence just drops down. So, if you have a clothing that they can easily wear, it will boost their confidence and self-esteem, and enjoy their independence. We need to look at things that how we can help people with this to start enjoying their life and looking at their independence, not just depending on someone. Like that. Yeah.
That's very true. I mean, of course, functionality is one of the things you think about first, right? But it's also about the expression of self. It's also about looking good. It's also about, fashion, right? So, for Bernard and Usha, obviously your personal experiences are the inspiration behind creating Dawn Adaptive, right? So, maybe with Usha, can you share with us the considerations you took into account when you designed the clothing? What were the first and foremost? What were the things on the top of your head? I mean, the clothes have magnetic buttons. What was the thought behind that? Why did you choose magnetic buttons? Usha or Bernard?
Okay. Just a basic one. For me, there is Velcro as another option, and there is magnet. Velcro, if you're looking at the caretakers dressing them up, Velcro will be a suitable one. But if it's magnetic, it's very easy. Just I think Bernard can show you the shirt after this. It's super easy with one hand. If you have just one, your dexterity sort of thing. So you can just use your one hand, your strength hand, and just clip it on. It's super fast. Bernard, maybe you can show them.
Yeah. Sure. So, good thing I'm actually wearing the shirt. This is the magnetic polo tee from Dawn Adaptive, our first product. So I'm not sure if you can see, but let me just show you how I wear it on, okay? So you see, this is the button part, okay? And you see, I just have to take it out like this, okay? And close it. You hear the snap? So it's so easy, and it's really, really helpful for people with dexterity issues, motor movements, who can't control their hands properly. Even for me, because with my hand weakness, it would take me a long time to put the normal button. Sometimes I need help from my parents. So this t-shirt really helps. It's so easy to wear. I almost wear this all the time when I'm going out because I can wear it in any occasion. And yeah, we actually did a video recently. We gave one of my models from Dawn Management. He has cerebral palsy, so we gave him the shirt and we told him to take a video, and he did. You can actually check it out in Dawn Adaptive Facebook and Instagram page. The boy had cerebral palsy, and he was wearing the shirt. It was just so nice to see, so happy, because he obviously struggles because with cerebral palsy, he can't control his hands. It's like shaking. But thanks to this T-shirt, he wears it like really easily, just like that. And the joy on his face, it's all about being able to provide that solution to make someone's life much more easier, independent living.
Even as a caretaker, it makes the life easier. The caretaker to do something on this. It's good to see that it's good for the caretakers to look at the child, or like me as mom, and I see my child can dress up herself. It's just like, wow, you feel like, oh, she can defend it, and she herself will feel like, I can do it myself. I'm not dependent. That boost, that's very important. So I think magnetic shirt for them to, if they have the weakness in their hands.
So would there be a precision issue when you put it on? Do you need to aim it, or
Not at all.
No, not at all. Because like you see, there's no aiming. You just bring it together, and it closes, because the magnet attracts the south and pole, or whatever you call that. Yeah, it brings together, so you don't have to. No precision issue at all. Yeah.
And the magnet lose the magnetic pull after a certain number of years?
No, because the one we're using now, it's permanent magnet. So for it to actually lose its magnetism, I think it would take like 100 years. That's a long time. So yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
As long as you don't, it's fine. It's totally fine.
It's machine washable.
Oh, okay. So Bernard,
Yes, right.
So Bernard, you also have a modeling agency for disabled models, right? So
Yeah.
what is it like, being on the fashion scene? There must be some challenges because your models, there are special considerations compared to other models, right? So maybe you could share a little bit about your experience in this respect and whether you feel the fashion industry is adequately inclusive.
Okay, sure. So that's interesting. Since we first started Dawn Management in 2018, we've overcome quite a lot of hurdles because we're being the first inclusive modeling agency is quite a challenge, I would say. So I noticed that when we work with brands, whether it's local or international, yes, we do face that issue because when they want the models to do photo shoot and all, when the models have to go to the changing room to change their clothes, I think it's quite a struggle for them. They usually have their caretakers there with them. But you can see because the clothes are not, it's not easy for them to wear. They will take extra time. So I was just thinking, we already have models with disabilities now, and adaptive clothing is growing. So we definitely need to see more of this in the mainstream brands as well. They need to think of people with disabilities and how they can dress up much more easier. Because just because they're in a wheelchair doesn't mean they can't model. I mean, they have good looks. They want to, So yeah, I think fashion definitely in Malaysia as well. I think it definitely has some room for growing in towards inclusivity. Yeah.
Sorry, so now that we have initiated this conversation, right, and bearing in mind that the theme of IC this year is about reimagining, reshaping, rethinking, and restarting, right? What would be your wish moving forward as PwC?
Sure, I want to share first.
Oh, okay. For me, I will. We are in Dawn Adaptive. The main wish, our wish will be to collab with other designers, maybe with Uniqlo in future. That would be great. That we can come up with functional clothing together. That we need more designers to come up with more functional clothes. Fashionable and functional. That they can express themselves. With a nice design, with function, that nobody gets discriminated. Fashion should be for everyone. That maybe you can.
Yeah, okay. So for me, I think it would be, I like where all this is going, with IC and all. It's good to see inclusivity growing now in Malaysia. I think I would like to see more than just fashion, maybe in education, in transportation. I think more people are being aware now of how this is not just a minority group, but eventually we all get there, right? Like, you're going to be old age one day, so you're going to need some kind of special assistance. So yeah, I would like to see more, in transportation, education, in just all aspects, basically. Yeah.
That's great. So now we're coming to the Q&A segment of this webinar. So to the members of the audience, if you have any questions, please post them bottom right corner in the Q&A box. Yeah, some of the questions have started to come in. Now let's see. First question is for you, Diane. What is the process like for Uniqlo to design new clothing that's based on customers' feedback? Diane?
Well, for us, I mentioned presentation, we are really big believers of the voice of customers. So even in our stores on a weekly basis, we are taking customer surveys. So just so that we know every single product, how is it helpful to customers or how else it could be improved. So all this information and all these messages that go through to our customer center is really analyzed, and we use it to develop our new products and also to improve them. So we even have a website called the Uniqlo Update. It's in Japanese actually, but it highlights all these products that we have improved with the response of our customers. Also like the front open innerwear range that you saw just now. So it's also based on customer feedback. And we've also started our Ariake project a few years ago. So this Ariake project actually includes things like analyzing digital information so that we can more accurately forecast what customers' demands are. And it's actually part of our ultimate aim to totally eliminate waste from our business by making sure that we can only make, distribute and sell products that are necessary. So it seems like quite a big goal to want to achieve, but we are trying to get there. So that's why we believe that listening very closely to what people want is very important so that we can create just the right amount of clothes and the right type of designs for everyone.
Oh, thank you. I mean, of course, listening to your customers is always a good thing, and moving forward is the smarter thing as well. The next question we have is actually for Dr. Julia. Dr. Julia, in your experience, you must see a lot of patients who became disabled suddenly due to accident or disease. Given the suddenness and the psychological effects, plus the physical healing and all that, do you see clothing as being important to them?
Well, like what I said just now, right? Part of what we do in rehabilitation is to teach them how to wear their clothes again, right? Because this patient they need to learn to wear it in a different manner. How important it is, well, I have to admit that there are times that the fact that they become suddenly disabled, their loss of mobility, they are very unsure about their future, their work, their relationship. I can see that sometimes at that point of time, clothing might not be the main thing that that there's in their mind. Even though when we teach them about how to dress, we always ask them, can you please bring something from home so that we know what they're wearing at home, and then teach them. But that is only as an inpatient, and we always follow them up. When we follow them up, then it sometimes say, hey, you are still wearing this, why don't you change into pants, or wearing sarong to change into pants? Why are not wearing shoe? But yeah, so sometimes it is not the first thing that is in their mind during the initial hospitalization, because there are a lot of other things. I have to say, a lot of other things are in their mind. But when they integrate to the society, when they start going to shopping mall and so on, they will see that. They will see that there's a need to be dressed in what they like to themselves to be seen in, and yeah, but not during the initial hospitalization. Yeah, normally. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Julia. The next question is for Bernard. Oh, okay, this is quite a personal one. Do you personally prefer magnetic buttons, velcro, or hidden loops in your clothing?
For me, it has to be magnetic, because like I was explaining, it's so easy. Like you just snap, and you're done. You save time, because I think with the velcro and all, like Usha was mentioning just now, it's more suitable for caretakers, because for people like me, so it takes a little more resistance, a little more strength. So the easiest is magnets. Yeah.
Okay. Now the next question is for Dr. Julia again. As you've mentioned about the risk of falling when you dress up, what are the recommendations to put on pants without having to worry about falling down?
Okay, so for the patient that I see, standing is a no lah. Wearing pants, on balancing yourself on one leg, most of the time those are the patient I see cannot do that. So not in standing, sitting down. Sitting down depends. Some patients, when they sit down, we have to see where they're sitting down. Are there any grab bar that you can hold as you are dressing? Because sometimes, you know, they don't have good enough balance. So we it's always sitting down, but when sitting down, we see what are the things around them. You know, if they're sitting down in a chair that have borders, you know, that have what you call it, the arm or the side, yeah, then it's safer. But still, the next question, the next thing I see is that how do they put their legs into the sleeve of the pants? You know, do they have to bend down? When you bend down, it can cause instability as well. Sometimes we have to give them a richer so that they don't have to bend. But with the richer, put in their leg to the sleeve of the pants. So it's very individualized. So it depends on what pants you want to wear. So sitting down with the side there, and then sometimes you might need a grab bar somewhere. So it depends on what type of weaknesses that they have. So it's always on an individual basis. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Next question is by Diane. What are Uniqlo's plans for customers with disability?
Yeah, so a few years ago, we started this project from the global headquarters, which is called the May I Help You project. So it's actually an effort to try to make our stores more welcoming and more convenient for customers with disabilities. So part of this project involves trying to upgrade the store facilities to make it more disabled friendly. It might be a challenge for the older stores, especially those that are located in the malls, but we're definitely working on it for the new stores, like the one I mentioned just now, which we are opening in December, on December 18th. So other than that, it's not just about the facilities, but also the customer service for people with disabilities. So we realized in the past that there are many staff who maybe they're not comfortable approaching disabled customers because they just don't understand what they might need or how to approach them and ask them the right questions. So we actually started training some of our staff to on the things that they should do to make sure that their customer service is also inclusive. And last but not least is to continue developing more clothing that is also inclusive and can meet the needs of different kinds of people, including the people with disabilities.
Thank you. Okay, next question is, Diane again. How else does Uniqlo support the PWD community?
Basically, we do treat the PWDs as one of our main focus groups for our sustainability efforts. So apart from PWD employment, which we currently have 30 in Malaysia, we also aim to provide retail training to other people with special needs. So we do invite kids or students from the PWD training centers to come to our stores to learn a bit about what it's like to work in the clothing industry and what it's like to be a retail associate. And this way we try to give them new skills that sometimes we could actually hire them again. Other times they could actually use the certificate to show that they have had the experience to work in a retail store. So other than that, we've also done some events like art workshops for children with special needs. And we definitely look forward to working with other adaptive organizations. So for example, we've actually had a wheelchair model from Bernard and Usha's modeling agency featured in one of our commercial videos before. So we hope that we can work more with them in the future as well.
Well, that's great. Okay, we now the members of the audience, if you still have any more questions, please post it in the Q&A box at the bottom of the right-hand corner of the screen. Yeah. So the next question we have is for Usha. Are you looking into coming out with shoes with magnetic buttons too?
Yes, definitely. In the future, but we have a lot more things coming up. We are looking at jackets, innerwears and all that. There are many things in my mind, but yeah, it slowly will be there. We'll be letting everyone know that.
Great. So, okay, I for one am looking forward. In fact, actually, I'm wearing a Uniqlo baju today, which I love because of the cut and everything. But I think I'm going to buy my first Dawn Adaptive baju after this. So the next question. So the next question. Okay, this is open-ended. It's not specifically for anyone, but here it goes. There are so many different types of body shapes and sizes, especially when you consider the different disabilities and the different needs. How do you handle sizing? Is it different compared to conventional sizing? Maybe Diane or Bernard, who wants to take this one?
Maybe this would be better answered by Dawn Adaptive, since their products are the adaptive clothing range.
Okay. For sizing, okay. Well, for now, we are looking into making bigger sizes as well, because we realize that we need to cater to all sizes, and we also have like this, our magnetic quality. We have a fitting where it fits well for women and men as well. So it's a unisex design, and I think like other body sizes, like maybe like dwarfism and all that, that would need to be custom made, I suppose, because sometimes it can be very different. Like not all dwarfism are the same sizes. So yeah, that's something we need to look into, maybe custom made in the future, you know, like a few pieces, something like that. Yeah.
So what I think is maybe the sizes we are not looking at it at, but like for example, for pants, definitely for sitting position, there's a different style in cutting and shaping it. So we will definitely look into that. And we always send out questionnaires to our PWDs to ask them opinion. We look into them and we ask their suggestions. So they will tell us, like, you know, when we, you know, if you look at pants, when you sit, it usually comes lower. So the cutting should be higher for people who are sitting on the wheelchair, you know, at the back. So we look at all that. So we ask them what are their discomfort. That means at knee, you know, if you have the normal cutting pants, it hurts them by their knee. So, you know, those kind of cutting and, you know, measurements are different compared to any other pants. These kind of pants actually will fit any ordinary people, like able body, because most of the time we all are sitting right now. Sorry, it's breaking up. Can you hear?
Yes.
So most of us are sitting. If you look at us, any able body, we are mostly sitting down. So if you have a cutting that is designed for people on wheelchair, it's actually for you too, even me. You know, we are sitting most of the time in the office. So we need something pants that is more comfortable for everyone. So the styling and the cutting should be. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I've received. This is not really a question. It's more of a comment. So let me just read it out to you. Silhouettes for wheelchair-friendly. Okay, silhouettes for those on wheelchair need to be cut differently to accommodate sitting for a long time. So that's pretty much what you were saying. Need to remove thick seams and back pockets on the back and lower the pockets on the front. So that's the comment that we received.
Yes.
So members of the audience, yeah, any more questions that you'd like to ask our panelists? Okay.
Kelvin asked a question. Do you see a question there?
Yes, we addressed that earlier. So about the risk of falling down and how to put on the pants.
There's another one about whether the training of serving PWDs would be applied to all stores in the future. So I think this is for me as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think maybe it's sending to you personally.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, I can answer that. Yeah, so actually
Yes.
we started this customer service training last month for our new store, just in preparation for that. But we definitely hope to expand this to all the stores by area. So in the meantime, we also welcome any feedback from customers or anyone who can actually let us know what might be lacking in customer service right now for people with disabilities. So you can always write into our customer center with any of your comments on how we can really improve it. Because what we get right now on like how to serve people with disabilities, it might be very general. It might not be specifically for the Malaysian customers, for example. So we definitely welcome any feedback from others.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
number for the audience.
I think
Okay.
there was a question towards me personally. Kelvin was asking,
Okay.
how do you wash magnetic clothing in the washing machine, because there is magnets, right? Okay. So so for that, we've tried it already. It's all good. You just have to close it, fasten it all when you put it in the washing machine, and don't worry about it. Nothing will happen. It's fine. But I guess the one precaution is for people with pacemakers, you don't want to wear the magnetic. Yeah, I mean that's common sense, right? You have to avoid anything magnetic, right? If you have a pacemaker in your heart. So yeah, just if you have a pacemaker, then you're not suitable to wear the magnetic shirt because it might interrupt your pacemaker. Yeah.
So that's where you have the Velcro version.
Yeah, I guess for people with pacemakers, yeah.
Okay.
We have actually mentioned it in our label. We have a label on it. Anyone who buys our shirt, they can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, members of the audience, in case you have any more questions that you'd like to ask later after this session, UMMC, Uniqlo, and Don the Deputy all have virtual booths on the IC platform. You can go to the virtual booth. There is a messaging function that you can send messages to everyone here if you decide to, you need to reach out personally or have further discussion, right? So before we wrap up today's session, I think it's been wonderful, very, very informative, and I think very, very good sharing. Is there anything that anyone else, any of our speakers would like to add on? Let's just do one round across the table, yeah? So, Dr. Julia, do you have anything else you would like to add on?
Yeah, I mean, people always say, oh, you're doing, and I'm always involved in this activity, right? So I say, oh, you're doing it for them. But then I see it differently. I see it investing the future for all of us. Because somebody told me, oh, Dr. Julia, you're just a temporarily able-bodied individual, it struck my mind, which is true, because most of my patients are able-bodied before. So when I do this, I see it as me investing for my own future. So that when, probably, I don't know, when we need it, things are all ready. So that's my advice to everybody. It's our future. That's why we have to make things inclusive. Thank you.
That is true. That's very, very true. I think a lot of people don't realize that disability is actually a state of being. You can be able-bodied, you can be disabled, and actually as you go older, your needs as you become elderly are also very similar as well, right? So next, Diane, do you have anything else you want to share before we end?
Just a thank you to all the attendees for joining today, and also to IC for giving us this very unique platform to have such an interesting discussion, and really to hear from very unique and different perspectives. So I think people usually tend to listen to the majority voices when we are creating products and things, but it's really important also we realize that we need to listen to the minorities as well. And from there, we actually might find that some of the minorities' needs might actually be the same as the majority, just that maybe they haven't discovered it yet. For example, the magnetic buttons. I think I also want to try this kind of clothes in the future. Yeah, it looks so easy to wear. So thank you again.
Yeah. So I guess I'll see you at the Dawn Adaptive virtual booth later.
Yeah.
Usha, what about you? Anything to add on? Usha?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. For me, I would say we all need to, like designers, any designers, we need to provide fashion that is literally for everyone, just like create fashion for everyone. Let's break the segregation between able-bodied and differently able-bodied. Just make fashion that fits and anyone and everyone. So don't people with differently able-bodied don't feel like, okay, I'm wearing a special man for me. No, let's make the fashion for everyone. Anyone can wear it, like how Diana said. We all should start wearing magnetic shirt and make our life easier. It's super quick, in a day. Thank you.
True. And Bernard, best for last. Bernard.
Okay, so yeah, I totally like what Prof. Dr. Diana said just now. It's not about now, what we're doing. It's not for now, the temporary, because we'll be gone one day. But it's really for the future. We're doing it all for the future because, like, maybe normal people might look at adaptive clothing and think like, no, that's not for me. Why do I need it? But you never know, right? One day you might get into a hand injury or, leg injury, then what are you going to wear? So, yeah, it's a very important market, for the elderly as well. And, yeah, I think it's a very good thing to do. I hope we see more of this. And, yeah, thank you, everyone, and all the speakers. Thank you very much. Good session.
Well, I think this is a wrap. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you to all our attendees. I hope this session has given everyone a lot to think about, and it started, some conversations with yourself and with the people around you about being more mindful to others as well. So we look forward to more this kind of engagement in the future. And in the meantime, please take the time, browse the IC platform, look at the booth, buy a clothes at Dawn Adaptive and Uniqlo, but also go to UMMC, check out some of the more information and all that. I think a lot of what we do, what we think today, starts with us being more mindful and more informed about what is going on around us. Right? So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.